Hello, welcome to Inviting Calm with Anita. It's a glorious fall day here in New England. The sun is shining, and I've decided to put a blanket outside and my bolsters and props and just feel the earth along with the sunshine on me. This is a restorative practice. So it is a practice in which we're going to have our props support us. And so that truly relaxing in our bodies. You can have all sorts of things, bolsters. I have all different kinds of blocks. You can use pillows, rolled up towels. I'm seated on let me get that out for you, a blanket. Just use whatever is in your home or what's nearby. There's no need to go out and purchase anything to do this. You really can use what's available to you. So you may want to pause it here while you get ready and get your things. You may decide to be in a quieter setting. You might want to have the lights off. Perhaps you want to burn some candles. Again, keeping mindful that they're away from you and be safety. Or you may decide to do this outside. I went for a lovely hike this morning and feeling a little stiff and sore, so I figured I'd share a little restorative practice with you. Okay, so again, you may want to pause here to get ready and get your things set up. Right. Well, here we go. So in this, again, to remind you of this restorative practice, it is one in which our props are going to really help us to support our bodies, get rid of that tension, and to just, I call it like a giant hug. I just love that. I feel my body just relaxing. And we want to maybe set an intention. My intention today is going to be to listen to my body. There's some areas of stiffness or soreness that I might want to focus in on a little bit. Whatever is your practice, whatever you want to do for an intention, we think about that now. Take a cleansing breath in and out. And again, breathe it in, breathe that intention in. And exhale it back into the world. I'd like for us to start with our easy seat position right here. I'm going to sit on a little rolled up towel here so it will help to position my spine and keep me in a better straight position. Okay. We'll start off by doing a little breathing activity. So this is something that you can do throughout the practice, or you may have one that you like to do better. This is called 7-11. We're going to breathe in 7 times to the count of 7 and then exhale to the count of 11. I'll do it once and then we could do it together. Okay, so breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now feel free to join me. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can experiment with that. You could do different counts. Perhaps you want to breathe in for the count of 4 and then exhale for the count of 5. Truly, whatever feels most comfortable in your body. The thing about our breath is it serves as an anchor. It's this grounding point. It helps us to get centered within ourselves, and that could be different for everybody. So I encourage you to play with that and to just be mindful and observing of your breath. Excellent. So the first pose that we're going to do is called a seated angle pose. Now for this, I'm going to still sit on my towel, my folded towel, but I am going to move it back a little bit. Although there's these wonderful crunchy leaves all around me. I love that. Feeling of the earth. It's great. So your legs are going to be spread a little bit. They could be spread to different widths. If you have some hip issues, maybe you have them in a little bit. Again, whatever feels comfortable. This particular practice is a restorative practice. It's really not working on stretching your body, it's working on supporting it. So I'm going to have mine about this, a little bit like hips width apart. And then I'm going to build up so that I'm eventually going to be leaning forward with my hands and arms propped and building up in front of me so that I can rest my head. So I have bolsters, you might have pillows, whatever is handy. I have a little towel here. It's great. It's yellow like the leaves around me. Perfect. Love that. And then you might decide that, geez, I want some bolsters to support my arms. Again, whatever is your, whatever helps you to feel comfortable. And then sliding forward and resting. Some folks might find that putting blankets or towels under their legs might be helpful. If you have tight hamstrings, that might be a good idea. You can have your feet flexed or straight, whatever, again, feels comfortable. Really, you decide. I mean, this practice is accessible to everybody. Everybody. Yoga is wonderful. All bodies, all shapes and sizes. Okay, so let's begin in our seated angle pose, supported. Just remember you're concentrating on your breath, and we'll be here for 3 minutes. Just paying attention to your breath. Perhaps you're just observing your breath, or you're playing with your inhale and exhale and the different counts. And you may decide that you need to adjust your props as your body begins to loosen and feel supported. You may need to move them a bit. But again, you should not feel any stretching. It should be really a hug supporting you and not having to work at stretching. Have about another minute. And thinking about that intention that you set at the very beginning of the practice. Breathing in, breathing out, and gently, gently moving up back to a seated position. Gently, slowly. We're not in a rush here. It's restorative and relaxing. Gently guiding yourself up so you're back into a seated position. It's wonderful. The next pose that we're going to do is a supported butterfly pose. This actually is one of my favorite poses. Well, first of all, I love the thought of thinking about a butterfly and how graceful and beautiful they are. I'm going to move my towel, my blanket, and I'm going to put it in the back where my head will go. I want you to think about like a butterfly and its wings out, only this, it will be your legs. And so I really use a lot of props for this one. You may or may not need to. Again, experimenting with your body. And you want to gently move yourself down into a laying position. And you're taking your, well, let me demonstrate first. You're going to have your feet together, forming a V outwards and supporting those knees, supporting your back, your arms. I find that it's really super comfortable for me to just have the bolsters on the side of my legs, supporting that. And I often will take blocks, using them to support my arms, and just feeling the support of the earth underneath you, your props around you. Your eyes may be open or closed. You may even decide to have a towel or a blanket on top of you if that helps you to feel better, or protected. And your hands may be even on your stomach or flat down on the ground, or supported up by props. Really play with this. Make it your own. And just think of this luscious hug that you're getting from all around your props. So again, we'll be here for a while. I will cue you when we're moving on. Oh, I can feel the glorious sun on my face. So relaxing. Beautiful fall day. Again, you might want to practice with your breath. Maybe you're breathing in for the count of 7, exhaling to the count of 11. Or maybe you're just observing it. Breath is our anchor, our life force. Just honoring yourself, thanking yourself for showing up. Again, you may decide that you have to move the props as your body relaxes more. There should be really no stretching or pulling. Just this, like, again, I refer to it like a hug, a supportive hug of everything around you, just holding your body and letting go and relaxing. It feels wonderful after a morning hike in the woods. But you can do this practice anytime. A lot of people do it before bed. I have a couple poses that I like to do before I go to bed that help me to relax. It's observing your body and how you're feeling. A couple more minutes, honoring yourself, thanking yourself. Reminding yourself of the intention that you set. About another minute. I also want to remind you that as I invite you to go into a different position, if you're comfortable where you are and it feels good and you don't want to move to the next position, this is your practice. It's yours. So you decide what you want. You honor your body and listen to it. And if there's something that doesn't feel good in your body, then you can do a different pose. Again, it's really about honoring where you're at, what you need. These are all just invitations. A gentle breath in and out. If your eyes are closed, you may want to begin to flutter them open as we prepare to move to the next pose. Gently, gently moving yourself up, sliding your feet, gently removing your bolsters from under you, and using your arms to guide you up into a seated position. So get acclimated and get ready for the next pose. The next pose is going to be a child's pose, and it's also supported. And there's different ways to do the child's pose. There's days where I have a lot of problems doing the child pose, which is why I like the supported one, the restorative practice one, because it really does help my body to be able to have supports around it. So you're going to slide around, coming onto your knees. You may decide that you want to put something under your knees if you have knee issues, and that might feel comfortable. And again, you're building this castle. I'm using my bolsters. You build your castle. I know that for me, it's coming down like this. I might have to decide to have my knees a little bit wider, and I put the castle in closer. And then I also know that for me, building around from my arms, the more you do this, you get to know your body and what it needs or what feels good. And things might be different given any day. So I'm going to see how this feels today and see if I need to add or remove anything. So again, building that castle. Oh, this feels really good. Again, you decide. And we'll be here for about 2 minutes before we prepare for the next one. Some people like to have their arms up here. You can rest your head with your forehead down or move to one side. If you're on one side, I'll cue you to move to the next side after about a minute. And some people even decide that it's best to put a prop in between their legs and their behind, and they use that to help prop them. They're down here. If you're on one side of your face, you may decide to turn now to go to the other. Oh, and just giving yourself that supportive hug, relaxing into it. Breathing in and out. And just observing your body, that natural rhythm. Taking a breath in and out. Gently moving yourself up. Moving any props you have to the side. Remember, we're not in a hurry. This is restorative. And being gentle, a gentle flow. Moving everything to the side. Okay, we're going to come back to a seated position, moving yourself gently. And we're going to do a supported twist. I know that I like to have my pillow, or actually a blanket, a rolled up blanket, will go under my head. And you come into a laying flat down position. And then you're going to move. I like to start with the right. So I move over to the right with moving my left leg to the right. And sometimes I like to have a towel in between my legs. And you may want to support yourself with your other leg, your one underneath, your right one underneath. You might want to put a block under that to support. And you may decide to have your arms supported by a bolster or pillow. Again, decide like what is feeling comfortable. Sometimes I'll take my bolster and put it right towards the back, like in the crook of my back, so that I'm not rolling back, and it just supports it. And I have my arm resting on the bolster, and my other arm is resting on a block. And I'm just breathing, observing the flow, seeing if I need to adjust. You can adjust the positioning of your legs. You can move them up more towards you, or you can move them away. You really want to give yourself this restorative feeling that you're feeling supported. You're not feeling any pulling or pinching. It's comfortable. It's relaxing. It's breathing in. You may decide again to play with your breath, perhaps inhaling for the count of 7 and exhaling for the count of 11, or playing with those counts. And again, just remembering what's your why? Why are you here? What is that intention that you set? Just honoring yourself, feeling the support of the earth beneath you, or your props. Your eyes may be closed, or they might be soft gaze. A couple more minutes on this side. Your head may be turned to the right. Perhaps you have that just relaxing, resting on something. Again, playing with your props, feeling what feels comfortable for you. And you may need adjustment as we get further into the practice. And observing your body, your breath. About another 20 seconds before we move over to the other side. Gently removing any props that you need to remove to move over to the opposite side. I believe we started on our right, so it would be the left. And you may decide that you still need to have a towel in between your legs, or maybe for this side you don't. Again, it's like really experimenting and practicing and listening to your body about what you need. So for me, I know that for both sides, a towel is really helpful. So I'm rolling over. And then again, I take my bolster and use it to prop right in the back, which also serves really great to rest my arm on. And this side, I just need to put my hand and wrist on a bolster. The rest of my body is supported by the earth. And for me, that feels great. You may decide that you want to do something else, but really feeling all the, underside of your body is supported, and experimenting with that. You may decide to move the bolster further up so that it's supporting your upper back as well. And just breathing in and out, observing. And observing how you feel. Do you need to adjust any of your props? Do you need to add any? Maybe you need to have a little blanket in between your ankles as well as your legs, or you have it longer to cover both, or you don't need any. Really, it's individual. It's up to you. It is your practice. You're deciding. Breathing in and out. Again, reminding yourself what the why is. What is your intention? So noticing how you feel in your body. Is this side feeling differently than the other side? Observing, not judging, just noticing how your body feels. And honoring yourself for showing up. Breathing in and out. About another 15 seconds. Gently removing any props as you bring yourself up into a seated position. Remember that there's no rush. We're not in a hurry. In our next pose, our final pose, Shavasana, we are going to do what feels comfortable for you. When I'm in Shavasana, I like to have a towel for my head, which is already there. And then I'm going to put a bolster for under my knees. And I really try to get as comfortable as possible. So there are days that I might even put a towel underneath my back. I put blocks underneath my feet, and I'm resting behind, adjusting and putting the towel under my head. And I have my arms placed on a prop. It could be a bolster, it could be a towel. You may decide to have your arms on your stomach with props underneath. You may decide to put a blanket over you. Again, just really getting comfortable, making this your own, and we'll stay here. Your eyes may be closed or you have a soft gaze. And as we're in Shavasana, I'd like to read you a poem. It's called Shavasana, Corpse Pose by Marianne Murphy Zarzana. On the bonsai green carpet, you stretch your frame out flat upon a blue yoga mat. In parallel, I lie down upon a purple one, both of us becoming still, our bodies sinking further into the floor with each slow, steady breath. It's night, and together we're letting go. Molly, our black lab mix, wanders in, licks your open palm, sniffs my hair, snuffles, settles by my head with labored breath. Soon, I know, we'll lose her. Someday, each other. This is practice. We're learning to dissolve, surrender to earth, release thighs, hips, neck, skull, all the bones. Pay attention only to breath. Let it become a ribbon, the texture of fine silk. So as we lie here in Shavasana, observing our breath, noticing how we feel in our bodies, observing if there's any tension anywhere, breathing into it, honoring ourselves, and knowing that we are part of Earth. We are part of this big planet and the universe, all in one. Breathing in and out. Again, noticing how our body feels. Noticing if there's any difference from the start of practice till now. Breathing in, breathing out. And I invite you to bring movement back into your body as you begin to re-enter back into the place, the space of now. Perhaps gently wiggling your toes or your fingers, wrists. Gently rolling to your right side. Reminding yourself of that intention that you set. Just breathing in and out, resting for a moment. I now invite you to use your arms and hands and gently bring yourself into a seated position. If your eyes are closed, you may want to flutter them open. Breathing in, exhaling. I want to thank you for showing up and honoring your body. And let us go out on an Om. You may decide to have your fingers in a clasped position on your knees, or you may decide to be in prayer with your hands up by your heart, or just resting. Again, this is your practice, whatever you choose. On a count of 3, we will Om out. 1, 2, 3. Om. Namaste.